Good evening and welcome to Aix-en-Provence, the new home of the England rugby team. They had been based in Le Touquet on the northern coast, but they've relocated to this city, which is about 30 miles from Marseille in the south of France, as they look ahead to their World Cup quarter-final this Sunday against Fiji. Now, we've watched England train today. They've been joined by a new addition, Sam Underhill. He's been a late replacement, initially left out of this World Cup squad, but he comes in to replace Jack Willis, who had suffered a neck injury. So his first time joining up and training with the team today. He's seen it all before, Sam Underhill. He's a real force to be reckoned with, and he went all the way to the final with England back in 2019.
Yeah, he's a great player. I remember some of my best games have come playing with him and with Tom Curry. But it's good to have him back in camp. He's great in the coffee machine. He gets bantered a lot.
Yeah, you said he takes quite a lot of stick.
He does, yeah. Takes it really well, though. For someone to be so like an armadillo, I think is a good skill to have. He's bulletproof sometimes. Sometimes he needs a hug, though, I think. But he's a great lad to have in camp, and obviously a great player too.
Now, we've also been hearing from England's attack coach, Richard Wigglesworth, who says that the whole squad is fit, healthy and available for selection ahead of Sunday and what is a huge test against Fiji. Now, if you rewind to 6 weeks ago, Fiji beat England at Twickenham for the first time in their history. A huge win for them. So England are definitely going to have to up things this weekend, especially after just scraping a win past Samoa. The breakdown, a real hot topic this week. We know that Fiji are exceptional in that area, and the England coaching team today saying that that is going to be a real focus for them this week. The other conversation, of course, the 10-12 situation, that Ford Farrell discussion, it just rumbles on, doesn't it? Who will play 12? Who will play 10, and where Captain Owen Farrell fits into that ahead of this knockout game this weekend. And one question that Wigglesworth was asked was, what exactly does Farrell bring to a test week? In what is a huge game for England, knockout rugby, what does Farrell bring? Here's what he had to say.
I think the term he's a winner probably gets thrown around quite a bit, but that is Owen. He, under the harshest of pressures and the biggest moments, he tends to get better, and that's a sign of a winner. And he doesn't just get better; he tends to have more effect on the people around him as well, and what you get out of him. So, look, we know what gets said about Owen, highest ever England point scorer. We know what he's delivered time and time again, and you know. Those players tend to catch the most flack for some reason, but we've got one of the best to do it. We're lucky to have him, and yeah, no doubt he'll have a massive impact on this week and this game.
Now, Fiji have been described as everyone's second favourite team, but Billy Vunipola says England are fine with that. He says they're fine with being public enemy number one this weekend. He says they're quietly and confidently going about their business, as are Wales, who this weekend take on Argentina in their quarter-final, and they're not far from here either.
Thanks, Ellie. Wales have decided to base themselves here in Toulon, this stunning rugby-mad town, Johnny Wilkinson's old stomping ground. Talking of fly halves, well, good news coming out of the Wales camp today is that Dan Biggar, their first choice 10, is fully fit to take on Argentina in the quarter-final on Saturday after recovering from a chest muscle injury. Some encouraging news in terms of his fellow fly half too. Gareth Anscombe's groin injury isn't as serious as first feared. He's been running, and Wales aren't ruling him out of this weekend, although he's yet to do any kicking. There's also some positive news in terms of Liam Williams. He left the stadium on the weekend on crutches, but we're told that was just a precaution. He's got a knee injury, and he is also doing some light running with the team today. One man Wales are going to have to make do without, though, is number 8, Talupe Faletau. This is a huge loss for Wales, a British and Irish Lion, a point of difference in terms of ball carrying in the Wales team. And Johnny Thomas, his coach, has been talking about how they're going to fill his void.
We've had a little bit of a theme around relating your individual ability to a superhero, and I think you can't. It wouldn't work if you go into a game trying to be, Toby. You know, you've got to be yourself and show your super strength. What is your particular super strength? Toby's an obvious loss to the team, but I think where this team's at the moment, what this team's about is it is a team, and I think we have a way that we want to play, and whoever slots in will add is really clear on what the team objective is, and then he's got to bring his own individual super strength to the team.
Wales teams under Warren Gatland have long thrived on the underdog tag. He's used it continually to pull his team together and create this siege mentality. But this time, against Argentina in this quarter-final, Wales are going in as favourites.
When I was a young player with Wales, we always loved that underdog sort of feeling. And I think when Gats came in 2008 and the sort of evolution of the team, he's changed that mindset. So whether we're underdogs or favourites, it doesn't faze us too much, whereas, you know, maybe in years gone by that was the case. We're comfortable whether we're favourites or underdogs. It doesn't bother us. It's like the whole thing's a process. We need to stick to what we do well. You've got to take the emotion of favourites, underdogs out of that. Same as the scoreboard in-game, just take the emotion out of that and just stick to being in the present moment, focus on what your job is, and delivering under pressure. You know, that's what it's about. You've got to be excited about that pressure at this stage of a World Cup.
So that's the picture from the Wales camp here on the Côte d'Azur. It's a pretty one, but don't be fooled. I'm somehow going to have to find my way down this mountain and get back to Marseille. Meanwhile, up in Paris, Ireland are preparing to take on New Zealand and looking to get past the World Cup quarterfinals for the first time in their history. It's a repeat of the quarterfinal 4 years ago in Tokyo, but this, a very different Ireland team with a very different mindset.